Okay, so good starting point. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the best cities for picking up women during 2021, because as we all know, picking up girls has changed in the last year. The situation has been not quite ideal in that most cities don't have bars, there's the whole virus, there's all these situations changing things. Now that people like myself were getting vaccinated, or you already got the virus and you don't necessarily have to worry about that, well, what are the best cities for going out and meeting women? What are the best cities for getting laid? Because I'll tell you one thing, the fact that people have been quarantined for so long, once they're let loose, all the built up tension, energy, the repression kind of comes out, and there's a very good chance that this will be one of the wildest years in terms of like amount of accidental pregnancies.
It'll be like World War II. It'll be baby boomer number 2.
Yeah, it'll be the next baby boomers. Yeah, actually, that's probably what it's going to be.
That's
It's going to be the next baby boomer generation. And we want to help create that generation with this video. So we've been traveling to different cities and doing a lot of research on different cities to find out like where are the best places for meeting women in the current situation. So if you want to take a trip, or you want to get like, if you have money, it's not a bad idea to get like a 3-month lease in another state, just so you can go somewhere where you can actually talk to girls, where you can actually meet women, because without a social life, I mean, life's a lot less fun. So that's what I did, right? I have a house in New Orleans. New Orleans is a good city in general for meeting women, but right now it's not the best. It's okay, but it's not ideal. No. So I got a place in Las Vegas, which is a much better city for meeting women. And even though I'm paying an extra rent, it's totally worth it to make my life more exciting, to have more fun, and to have opportunities to meet, the future Mrs. Right, the mother of my children that, I'm gonna marry one day. Possibly. Probably not. But anyway, so we found a few of the best cities right off the bat, and we're talking in the United States because that's where our content's based. I don't have any fucking clue if you're in Europe where the best. It's not looking so good from what I've seen there. I don't know what the best places are. Not UK. I know that. But that's always.
Women are ugly. I didn't mean that. I meant something else.
Yeah. Well, you're the one that said that. I'm not agreeing. So only cancel
Canceled.
him.
No,
yeah. Only cancel him. Canceled. So I would say the best of the cities I've gone to, and through my research, Miami is really, really, really good. Miami's really good. First of all, the women there are extremely beautiful. Like the average level of attractiveness in Miami is probably the highest I've seen in any city. Like it is incredible for that. You are going to get more snobbiness. If you've ever been to LA or like a richer area where there are a lot of hot girls that are also kind of snobby, maybe pretentious, you do have to deal with that in Miami and in a lot of the areas. But there are open clubs and bars. They close at 12, but they're open till then. They're absolutely packed. There's beaches with tons of hot girls just like lounging around doing nothing. It's very easy to pick up girls there. There's Lincoln Road, which has like models all over the place. One of my boot camp clients actually went on a date with a successful swimsuit model who travels to different countries for modeling. So that's the kind of thing you'll find at Miami. Extremely beautiful women, very expensive place to live, but tons of beautiful women. Clubs are open, great for day game. One of the best cities, definitely in my top 3. Other one, Austin, Texas. What do you talk about Austin since I did Miami?
Yeah,
this is where we are right now, by the way.
Austin's pretty beautiful, and I'll say this too, there's no competition. So here's a big thing.
The city or the women?
There's no competition with the guys. Which is most places too, to be honest. Most places, especially after this whole COVID thing, most guys are really soft nowadays. Everybody's working the dating apps. There's more competition on dating apps than ever. But here's the cool thing. There's no competition when you're out of cold approaching. So my personal advice is just get yourself out there, because none of these girls are used to guys that are actually verbally skilled anymore. Not to mention by going out, now you're actually better on the dating apps, because when you meet up with the girls on dates, you have a way higher close rate. So the big thing is like with these big cities like Austin, the girls here are sexy as fuck. Like we went out last night and we actually had so many opportunities to pull.
One thing we have to mention, because it's the whole coronavirus, the pandemic, completely open, right? It's like normal. The bars are open, they're packed. The whole bar area is really packed. We'll put some B-roll footage of what it looks like. I'll put some B-roll footage of Miami, the different cities. It feels like normal, right? It feels like normal, and there's not even a lot of coronavirus cases here as well, so it's not even that bad in terms of that. But it's completely just like it would be any other year, pretty much.
Well, and back maybe to Vegas. Do you want to go to Vegas next? Like we talk about that.
Well, one thing I want to say a couple things about Austin. One thing about Austin is that there's a lot of very attractive women, not quite as much as Miami, but more than the vast majority of cities. Like they're extremely attractive. They're a little bit more earthy, if you will. Like they're less like done up to the nines.
Hippies.
They're a little more hipstery. But tons of hot girls. They're very friendly, very approachable. They're kind of like hot girls that don't see themselves as hot girls. So they don't have that hot girl blasé, that like pretentiousness
like
that you might get with LA or Miami. So really good city for pickup. And this, these apply for any year. Generally, these are still good cities, but they're also happen to be open during this situation that we've got going. So Austin, really, really good. Another one of the top 3 cities, definitely.
Oh, yeah. Well, with Vegas, I know way too much about because that's my favorite place because I'm from there, and so is
And you're
Avery.
a scumbag.
I'm a scumbag. Yes, I like it when they're easy.
Resonates.
Here's the big thing with Vegas. Vegas, the clubs aren't open right now. That's actually the biggest thing. So New York and Vegas, they kind of have a similar street game vibe. So the streets are actually a lot tougher than it would be in normal cities because Vegas is kind of known for being a very scary place. If you go to Vegas, you have to befriend the friends. That's a huge thing out there because like a lot of these girls are like, oh no, mobster town. Oh no, drugs. Oh no, naked women. Oh no, we're gonna get kidnapped. And really, it's not a big issue. There's so many cops there. It's like a similar,
cops are everywhere. Yeah.
There's like a to me there are.
All of them have like assault rifles just walking this sometimes. Like
They do. In Vegas, sometimes they'll walk around with assault rifles depending on like the day. If it's like a
for holidays and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But like a big thing is like, so with them, you have to befriend the friends really hard, and you have to be really like a lot more direct, I'd say. But like when the clubs are open, it's insanely easy. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. But when it comes to the streets, it's a little bit tougher. The girls that come there though are pretty hot, and they are coming to get laid. So if you can get through that beginning stage and you can get them hooked, the chances that you'll have sex are actually really high because there's no chance of you being a boyfriend.
A lot of girls come to Vegas because they just got out of a breakup, or like they just want to have a one-night stand, and like that's where you go. So that's one of the best things about Vegas. And you get girls from every part of the world. You get to experience every culture. So if you're not sure, like what kind of girl do I really like, Vegas kind of like a Baskin Robbins 31 flavor situation. You find out like, oh, I really like, say, like Latin girls, or I really like girls from Eastern Europe. You'll find out what you like because you get some people from everywhere. You get people from absolutely everywhere, and you get to find out what archetype you're into. You get the prissy, like pretentious type of girls from LA, but you also get down-to-earth girls. You get some of everything, every culture, every skin color, everything, right? Yeah. And that's really cool. And there's plenty of really attractive girls as well. Super busy in Vegas. The streets are completely open. You're allowed to drink on the streets. So the streets is almost like a giant nightclub. But there's also like a lot of families, and they're walking. They're not like stationary like they would be in a club. So you have to deal with the fact that they're going somewhere. So that makes it a little bit more difficult. But I pulled 2 girls last week pretty easily with only about like 2 hours of actually like approaching women. About 2 hours, 2 girls that I actually brought home. So it's very easy if you if you know what you're doing and learn how to deal with the whole street game situation.
They're circled like sharks. There's like blood in the water.
Yeah, there's a lot of police around because there was like a riot or like a protest.
They're on like high alert
or something like that.
We decided to shoot it right in front of the Capitol building, and we had no idea there's a high alert thing.
Yeah, they think we're doing something sketchy.
Like 2 white guys. Like white guys keep doing shit. Come on, white guys. What are you doing? Come on.
It's not been a good year for them. Okay, so those I'd say those would be the top 3, and if I were to put them in order, I would probably say Miami's number 1. Austin, the problem with it is it's not as good during the week.
Yeah.
Right? You still got a lot of good day game options, but in terms of night game,
amazing.
It's really good during Friday and Saturday and not as good during the week.
Yeah.
Vegas has more options during the week, but isn't as good on Friday and Saturday. So it really depends what you value there.
When they finally open up this thing, when they finally slam open the whole COVID thing, it's going to be good every day of the week. But then when it hits like...
Normally Vegas is good every day of the week.
Exactly.
But they haven't opened up the clubs yet. I'm guessing it's going to be 1 to 2 months that they open up the clubs. That once that happens, Vegas will probably be number 1. Until then, I would say right now it looks like Miami, they have a curfew for spring break, but once that ends, I'd say Miami's probably number 1.
Well, they're trying to like counterbalance it now because everybody's complaining about it. Oh yeah, these
they had
guys.
millions of people going. There's, so Miami probably number 1. Austin number 2, Vegas number 3, and then after that, I'd say Phoenix because Arizona opened up recently. I have a lot of friends there, and they said the club scene is almost like normal.
Phoenix is good.
And you were there before they opened back up, and it was good.
So
now it's even way more open back up. Super hot girls in Phoenix also. Like
super sexy.
Extremely attractive.
I don't know what they're doing with the water out there. Like if they're just killing all the ugly girls or kicking them out. Like you can't live here. You can't have like an ugly girl who tries to move in. They're like, move out of here, Quasimodo.
I wouldn't say the average level of intelligence there is as high.
No. Well,
that's like if you like smart girls. I mean, I'm from there. I think I can say
cares about intelligence.
I care about that. So for me, that's a problem. But
standards. What it
yeah.
What a
but for
disgusting game.
if you just care about how hot they are, Phoenix is great. Tons of girls, pretty good for day game, but especially good for night game. Same, it's like good 3-4 nights a week. If you want somewhere where you can go out every single day and do really well, then it would be Miami or Vegas would be the top options. But if you're someone who's only going to go out like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, then it's going to be Miami or Austin or Phoenix.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this, I never went to Miami, but when you talked about it, it made me massively jealous and I actually wanted to go.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. It was great.
Well,
I'm going to go again for
If
sure.
I didn't have a boot camp coming up, I'd probably go with you, to be honest. Like, I'm actually really mad jealous because, like, he did show me pictures and this guy did pull, like, a gorgeous girl. The guy you had in a boot camp pulled, and you said it was the first time ever pulling?
Yep. Two of them pulled.
God, this guy's going to have such a disproportionate, like, view of game. We
should do a boot camp. Let's do a boot camp in Miami in the next month or two.
Yeah,
So we'll like make a link for that if we
link
end up
in the doodly do.
in the doodly do. He's a boomer. He's a fucking boomer.
The diddly dod.
Okay, so the other thing though, yes, those are the best cities. California's not ideal right now because there is no clubs and bars, right? The night scene is dead unless that's changed in the last week. And then some cities in like the Midwest or like say Atlanta is supposed to be pretty good. The average level of attractiveness I have friends there and they say, it's not the best. That's what I've been told. Haven't been there, so I can't say. Or like Georgia's open. There's other states that are open, but are they going to be on the level of Texas or Miami? Probably not. So those would be the top two options. However, I do want to say, despite the pandemic making things more difficult because clubs and bars might not be an option, you can still go to malls, you can still go to parks, you can still go to all kinds of different places and meet women. So it's completely possible to make it work. We're assuming that, you're social distancing, you got the vaccine, all that stuff, because, you have to, because CDC guidelines, and they, there are rulers. You have to do what they say on YouTube. So putting all that out there, or you're immune. You're safe. And then also, I don't think you have to wear a condom if you got the vaccine. That's what I've heard. I mean, don't take that. I mean, do your own research.
The vaccine definitely
do your
helps
own
out
research.
If you have the vaccine,
I think it prevents pregnancy. That's what I've been told. Anyway, so assuming that, you can still, like, I've had clients in all kinds of different states do well, but the best locations where you can actually do like clubs and bars, have extreme volume and just go crazy, it would be those cities we just mentioned. And if you want to go to those cities, come with us sometime for a boot camp and we'll take you by the hand, kind of like a tour guide for getting laid, and take you out, do 50, 75 approaches in one weekend. That's the average boot camp client, does 50 to 75 approaches, probably more than you've done in your entire life. Honestly, most people watching this, at the very least, probably more than you did since coronavirus. You're going to take a shit ton of action. There's a good chance you're going to get a ton of numbers. You might even end up bringing a girl home. That happens a lot. But you're going to make a shit ton of progress in a very short amount of time, get to go to one of the best cities, and then as things open back up in your own town, you'll have a lot of momentum and experience, basically setting things in the right direction.
Yeah, I like the way you did that. Yeah, boot camps are honestly something that I said in the last video, I wish that I did a lot more of. Boot camps are massively helpful, especially getting it from somebody who actually knows what they're doing. So him and me both have combined 20 years doing this, approaching girls. If you guys want to, dude, boot camps are the way to go. A lot of you guys have been watching Avery for forever. If you guys have and you guys really trust him, definitely get a boot camp with this guy. This guy's one of the best. I think all 3 of your last boot camps that I was a part of, that I helped you out with, all of your guys got laid. At least about 50% of the guys in the last month pulled.
have actually gotten laid. Yeah, I mean, I consider getting laid as pulling is good. I mean, at least most of them have actually pulled. About half have been getting laid, which is pretty good, and a lot of them hadn't gotten laid in over a year.
Yeah.
And part of that is just I'm focusing on the fundamentals that really matter and hammering it in that girl wanted to go home with you. Why didn't you try? Or it seemed like she was really into you. Why didn't you even try? And hammering those things in and showing you the positive beliefs that you should be having and that you could actually make it work, that gets you to make a lot of progress in a short amount of time. Look, the goal of boot camp is not just to get you laid, it's to get you to make a lot of progress, have fun, learn to enjoy meeting women, and to bring out your most charismatic side of your personality and get long-term results. But obviously, if you do get laid, that doesn't hurt, right? It shows you that it's possible. It shows you that pickup works. Boot camps are very effective for that. I wish I took a boot camp in my first year, because the first year I did game, I learned it pretty much, I had videos on YouTube that I watched, but I learned it completely on my own other than that. And did I do well? No, I completely fucking made the same mistake again and again and again. I was afraid to show my intentions. I was afraid to take the lead, and I basically squandered my time and made very little progress. And if I had a good coach, I mean, not a bad coach, but if I had a good coach, I would have made way more progress and gotten a lot better, a lot faster. So definitely consider taking a boot camp if you're serious about accelerating your results and getting things started and you feel like you've been stuck. That's the easiest way to do that. I mean, look, if you don't take a boot camp, still fucking take action. Like, don't be a bitch. Don't like make excuses. Like, take action, start going out, start meeting women. But boot camp's not a bad idea.
Do what the patriarchy tells you not to. Let's take advice from a white guy. All right, that was pretty much all I wanted to say.
All right, so last thing I want to say is if you enjoyed this video, I also have a link to his boot camps if you resonate with his message and his channel, so you can check him out. I'll have a link to my boot camps, and then make sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the bell button. I post new videos all the time, really good content like this, stuff that's like actual practical, hard-hitting advice that leads to results, as opposed to wishy-washy philosophy that you don't really need and just turns into mental masturbation.
Exactly.
So I hope you enjoyed this video.
All right, guys. Peace.